Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm, of course, your host, Statistical Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the T6 Dracula and a vehicle that is pretty much an imposter of this tank. Now, as all of us know, the Dracula is one of the most fun vehicles in Blitz. It goes really fast, going 65 kilometers per hour with a fantastic power-to-weight ratio, one of the best power-to-weight ratios in the game. It's super fast. It's got fantastic penetration. The DPM isn't the best, but it's still pretty dang good, and the tank is filled with spaced armor all over it, which makes it very hard to penetrate with a high explosive shell. It's a really fun tank, and everybody wants to get their hands on it, especially because it is a pretty overpowered vehicle. But what if I told you that you can get your hands on a vehicle very similar for the Dracula, and it's also free? Well, that would be the LTTB. Now, if we go take a look at these vehicles, statistically, there may be a lot of differences between them, but overall, they are very similar in the ways they play, and I can definitely vouch for that, as I'll be playing this tank live, comparing it to the Dracula while I'm talking about it. Now, the LTTB does have some upsides. First of all, it's got more damage per minute than the Dracula, sitting at about 200 more. That's pretty dang nice, and even though the alpha damage is 25 less, that's not obviously going to make a huge difference when you do have a lot more DPM, judging that your reload is 5.22 seconds compared to the 6.32 on the Dracula. So DPM, very nice. It's also got great shell velocity, a lot better than the Dracula's. Although I will say, the premium penetration on the LTTB is a big letdown. Although it does again have fantastic shell velocity, it definitely struggles on the penetration, only being at 200 millimeters compared to the Dracula's 237. Big advantage there. The aiming time is almost identical. The LTTB has got better movement dispersion values, which is good. That means that you're more accurate on the move, but overall they're pretty dang similar for both of those areas. Gun depression, Dracula way ahead. 10 degrees compared to 5. That is one of the biggest differences between the two. But when you're going, 72 kilometers per hour or whatever, 68 in your LTTB, it doesn't really make that much of a difference because you never need gun depression when you're YOLO rushing enemy teams. Now, mobility, they're very similar as well. The LTTB has got a little bit of an edge over on the top speed, and you may think that the LTTB is a lot slower because it's got about a 20% worse power to weight ratio, but that is just base. When you look at effective horsepower to ton ratio, these are both the same value. This is adding in your terrain resistances, and as you can see here, the Dracula has got way worse terrain resistances by a long shot than the LTTB. Therefore, the LTTB is faster on hard, medium, and it's only slightly worse by about 0.2% on soft terrain, being 26.5 over the 26.7 on the Dracula. But overall, on hard terrain, wow, the LTTB is amazingly fast compared to the Dracula. It's actually statistically the fastest tank in the game on hard terrain, but the M41D beats it on all the other. So yeah, LTTB pretty dang fast. It's got a little bit better traverse speed, but overall pretty much the same. And the camouflage is a massive advantage. I pretty much say that the camo balances out the gun depression and the pen because, yeah, having light tank camo is something that's really nice, especially camouflage after shot. Now, statistically, the LTTB, of course, is not performing anywhere near the Dracula because the Dracula is a premium that a lot of people want to get their hands on, and it definitely is an overpowered vehicle. But I can tell you from a lot of personal experience and playstyle-wise, the LTTB is almost identical in the playstyle compared to the Dracula. So we're going to try it out and see just what we can do in today's games. Now, against tier 7s, this is where the LTTB really hits home. It's got pretty dang good armor. It's not the best, and it's not nearly as good as it used to be. For many of you veterans out there, you probably remember when the LTTB was sitting at a ridiculous amount of armor, enough to really get T92-like mounts, because it's such a quick vehicle. Like, you're going to see how quick this thing actually gets up to top speed. It's actually ridiculous. I also love the way this gun looks. Now, there are two options for the LTTB, actually. You can run this gun, which is the long, gives you a little bit more DPM, or you can run the shorter barreled gun, which actually gives you 7 degrees of gun depression. I personally prefer the long gun just because DPM is nice, and you can still work the 5 degrees. You can see here that 5 is plenty to work this position, and yeah, you really don't need it too much. Wow, that Peter took a long time to push across. I guess they are going that way, just really slow at it, aren't they? So we got the T28 HTC right off to the side here, who we might be able to slam a shell into. No, wow, I did not think he was actually going to be able to get that shot off, but now that I think about it, the HTC does have that ridiculous amount of traverse on its gun. So let's back up here. We are not currently detected, which means maybe we can spot enemy tanks like the T29, and now let's drive away. We actually, no, I thought we didn't get detected from that, but yeah, we definitely did. So our team is all sitting up top, but that's fine. This is where we use the tank like a Dracula. The speed is speed. And look how crazy quick this thing is. Easily getting right up to that 68 km/h top speed. I can imagine this thing flipping really, really easily in real life. There we go. Nice shot into that Challenger. You can see there I was running a bit slow on the gun depression, but not too bad overall as we were easily able to penetrate that shot. Now we do have a smasher right over here, which as we all know is an extremely deadly tier 7, one that you usually don't want to mess with, but as he missed that shot, yeah, smasher, he's about to be smashed by my standard shells. This is where the increased DPM over the Dracula is nice on this tank, because I'm able to get 2 shells out onto the smasher, and now we back into cover again, because, yeah, I don't really want to get hit by him. So let's see what we can do here. We got that smasher's turret. Let's get one more nice tap out. All we need is one more roll with our premium rounds, and this smasher will be toast. So let's aim right in on his vehicle, keep aiming, and yeet! There you go. Goodbye, smasher. Thank you very much for your hit points. Now we can move on to the next opponent, which would be the T28 HTC. Or not. Let's try that again. Let's speed. I love speed. This tank is just so crazy fast. And you know what? We got a lot of targets here we can actually start ripping apart. But let's go for that HTC right now. Because, yeah, he's the one who shot us. So he's going to get the big brain. Yo! Now, I wish you could penetrate the HTC with HE, but as you can see, that thing's a pretty well-armored beast, which is very surprising, to be completely honest. I always thought the HTC was pretty easy to pen, but apparently not. Let's give the... Oh my god, I lost 500 from that ram, and we didn't even get the kill. But nonetheless, you saw, I played this tank very, very aggressive. Just kind of like the playstyle of Dracula. We were able to do pretty dang good at 2,349 damage. Not too bad, and almost even a mastery. That was the first game pulled out. So, of course, let's load in the one more battle, see if we can keep up that Dracula goodness. Now, I will say, it is a little bit different on the playstyle of Dracula, because the gun depression can be very limiting. It is a pain on certain ridge lines or anything like that, especially because this is quite a tall vehicle for a light tank. You need to work the ridge lines in certain scenarios correctly, which is definitely a bit of a struggle where the Dracula is able just to pop up, get the snap out, and drive away. But with the advantage of DPM, you've also got a much better on-movement dispersion with the ability to move a lot quicker and change positions. I can say that this tank makes up in certain scenarios, but it's not identical to a Dracula, but I'll say that for free, this is definitely worth it. It's one of my favorite tanks to grind, and, you know, the whole line is fantastic as well. Not only is the LTTB great, but the T54 lightweight as well is just such a fun tank. It's quick, it's got great armor for what it is, and like you can see, literally in less than 20 seconds, that was about 10 seconds, I was able to make my way into the spotting bush, which is great. Even a Dracula would have taken a little bit longer to get here. And of course, because the Dracula doesn't have light tank ammo, it would struggle a little bit. Now, I'm not saying by any means that this tank is better than a Dracula, because I can tell you it's not. The Dracula is definitely an overpowered vehicle, and this tank, it's great, don't get me wrong, and it used to be broken. When this tank first came into the game, it was actually a broken vehicle, but this is not that time. This is now a lot longer ago. So let's see, you know what, that's a T43 right there, and we are driving into a wall. Don't you love lag? Alright, well, we got the Sturm Mill off to the side. There's a nice HE into him, and of course we're going to load in some more shells if we can. There's another nice tap, tracking him as well. Are we going to be able to get another shell out? We're going to try one more before we have to back up. Oh, that's an SPIC. That's going to hurt. You know what we're going to do here? Very easy to kill SPICs with an LTTB because, of course, it's got no armor, and I've got a nice gun. Goodbye, comrade. I will not miss you very much at all. So we got the Sturmmill there, and we also got the T43 doing whatever that T43 is doing. Nice shot in him. Hopefully that Sturmmill does not hit me. Let's get a nice shot into the T43. Goodbye. And now we skadoosh our way onto the next opponent. Like, you can see just how quick this vehicle is. And it is really, really fun, to be completely honest. There you go. Nice shot into the rear of the Ox for 225. A nice high roll there as well. Cannot complain. We got the Smasher off to the side. Let's start bullying more Smashers, right? I cannot complain. If I can get shots in these Smashers, fine with me. So let's aim in there. Another nice tap. You can see that's the pretty decent dispersion. It's really quite accurate for what it is. Now we're going to move our way off to the side. That way we should be able to get some easier shells in. Maybe even get a nice side shot into that Smasher there. And let's keep on pumping these shells out. Now I got to be careful, of course, because there are a lot of enemy tanks over here. We got the Icebreaker up top, and that Smasher, while it is very deadly, I'm not super worried about because, yeah, we're doing a pretty solid job. So this Icebreaker, he's deadly, but not as deadly as our 90mm. Oh wait, no, this is not a 90mm now that I think of it. This is an 85. I'm big brain. Okay, gets nice shots into you. We back up. We need to reload quicker. Reload. Yes, okay, you're dead. And all that's left is the Icebreaker, who is going to die. What the... Alright, let me try that. Who is going to die? There we go. Okay, that's more of what I expected. So, there you go. LTTB, 3,201 damage in this game. We drove around, skipped around, and hopped around that map like no tomorrow. And we did pretty dang good. And that's what makes this tank so incredibly fun. It is really just... It's a fantastic Tier 7 Light, and I would highly suggest for you to get it, especially if you don't have your hands on the Dracula. This is the closest thing you can get to it, and I really thought that it would be a fun way for free-to-play players to grind down a line, especially because, as I said, this line is such a good one to go down. If you go and take a look at the vehicles that you go down when you're grinding this, it's pretty dang sweet. You go from the MT-25, which is already really fun, LTTB, the T-54 Lightweight, which is, in my opinion, a better T-44, and then you get to the T-54, and you just continue your way on. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you think I'm completely wrong on this, but this is, of course, my personal opinion. Other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, to be seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.